This is the birthplace of ships, and we are the builders of ships. We need the ships for our living, and without those ships, you and this island will die.
Wherever you go, tell them that about Sunderland. It's the largest shipbuilding town in the world. Now, last year, this river and this town alone was the third highest output in the world.
The point that I would like to make is this, that for a very long time, Sunderland in particular and this area in general, although they had a very proud history in traditional industrial activities, were on the whole too narrowly focused, and they were unable as places to withstand the changes in the economic climate. There is no point in looking back nostalgically. That is not a sensible way forward. The proper way forward is to diversify your economic base and thereby give oneself a very much better economic future. New enterprises, new companies, new concepts, new technologies.
They blew up the cranes, just to remind us our future didn't lie in that direction. Then they gave us a £45 million rescue package, and we got a brand new development corporation, and they worked with the council and local businessmen to point our town and its people in a new direction.
Thank you very much indeed for coming to what is really a very early start, I know. The purpose of inviting you here this morning to mark the first 9 months of the Wearside opportunity is not, as more than one wag during breakfast suggested, to produce the baby, but it is, for me, to tell you about some of the ideas that have been conceived during our short life. It is for what the Wearside opportunity is a partnership between some of the leading figures in the private sector, in industry, in the public sector, in particular the local authority, and in the government agencies, and in Sunderland's case that means the Urban Development Corporation. And it's a partnership that has come together who are keen to declare and promote a vision for the future of our town. What the town lacks is self-confidence. And the process of building confidence has to start with declaring a vision. In the case of the Wearside opportunity, our vision for the future is of Wearside, the advanced manufacturing centre of the North. Come on, let's change it. Let's rearrange it. Right now it's time, and we're the ones who are gonna make it.
I love it here. I didn't realise that we would come back to live back here, you know, at Hendon, because never had a very good name, Hendon. I mean, I don't suppose that I'll stay here forever, but me and Alan love it down here. Alan works down the pit, he's my husband, he works at Wearmouth. Mark 16 in September, be leaving school, like next term. I work at Brian Mills on a night, on the twilight shift. Oh, it's 2 minutes walk for me. In fact, many a time I've come out and I've looked at the clock. It's been 4 minutes to, and I've still getting around there and clocked in before 5. It's a mail order firm. We take orders over the telephone. It's telephone ordering. And I take the orders as well as do queries. That is what I do, you know. We just go in, sit down, and put our headsets and that on, and that's it.
Thanks for your call, Mr. Brown. Bye.
What is this? You need to copy. I want to be out!
Same old routine. We start work at 6 o'clock. You'd go down the pit, get onto the train, and you'd ride out to your workings wherever you were working, you know. And you just work all day at your job, which I was a belt maintenance there, you know. That's what carries the coal out and the waste. Then you'd come out and up the shaft again, out at 1:30, you know. Day in, day out.
I would like Alan out of the pits. I'd like him out as soon as he can, really. He's put his name down for the redundancy. So I'm hoping he gets, he's hoping he will, sometime September this year. So I'm hoping he does, because I hate it when he gets up on the morning and goes down there.
Last year, we cut the manpower by approximately 300. And this year we've had a circular saying there'll be another 250 redundancies between November 91 and July 92. It was drummed into your mind that you wanted to, in my own mind, I wanted to get out, so I just kept trying to get out all the time, you know.
I know I've heard of people following the father's footsteps, but personally I think there's not much future in the pit. There's like British coal. I think with all these pit closures and talk about Weymouth pit where my dad works, I don't think there's no future in them. I think it's best if I go and look for a job myself, somewhere on the new developments in Sunderland.
We want something better for the kids, because I think that's too much like going back in time, you know, going down underground, working underground. No, I wouldn't want that for my kids. No, I want Mark to, he's got high hopes. He would like to be, sure he was saying before, an accountant or something like that. So he's not like when Alan left school, of course, they were doing things like they were going into the pits and the shipyards. But our Mark's never talked about going into the pits or shipyards.
Well, having declared the vision, what we have to do is work to deliver that vision. And in the early days of the Wearside opportunity, we really set ourselves 4 major tasks: publicity, civic pride, an industrial strategy, and training our very adaptable and readily available workforce to take on the jobs of the future.
I hadn't been married a long time. We had a 6-month-old little girl, and money was quite tight at the time, and Thorns offered me a better standard of living, and I started working here approximately 20 years ago, and I've had some happy times here. I've been a process worker. I've worked with the maintenance department. I've worked on quality control, and last of all, rather than being made redundant, I had the opportunity to become a security. And unfortunately, the factory closed down production in July, and by the beginning of 1990, I'm afraid we'll be demolishing it, and that'll be it. I think it's going back to a green belt again. Well, I'll certainly be looking around for a job, but at the age I'm at, I'll just have to wait and see what comes up in the pipeline. So I started more or less at the end of January, beginning of February on this catering course, which goes on for a year, and the goal at the end of it is sitting guilds and catering. So I'll just start covering the...
I'm quite, sort of having to be hopeful, but at the back of me, I mean, it's like everything else, I suppose. I can't imagine him being a chef. I mean, everything's just so basic at the moment. I don't think it's... I don't know what he actually gets out of it. I mean, he says he's quite happy, but at the same time, if nothing is coming before long, a full-time job, he's thinking about, maybe what other opportunities, what he could do. So it's, a little blot on the horizon, wondering what's going to happen and wanting to get settled in a job, and it would be a lot easier.
when you're my age, getting on towards 50, factory work and things like that, they wouldn't entertain you. But I mean, there's no sort of age limit on a chef. If you're a good chef, you'll get employment. And the leisure industry seems to be one of the few things that's expanding in this country now. So I thought, well, get into it and give it a go. And that's why I'm here now.
How's your son Ian getting on?
Well, he has plans that he would like to be a computer systems analyst. He's wanting to program himself rather than being told what to program, making programs. He's always been interested in computers, and he's got his heart set on going back to school and doing A-levels.
I'd hopefully go into computers, and there's 2 ways I can go through that. And take a BTEC course, which it'll be at Maury, iTech, or on Queenmouth College. And from that, I'll be able to get into the Bachelor of Arts course. Or I can go through St Aidan's 6th form and 7th form, get A-levels and join there, which is the course which I'm hoping to take first. After that, after the Bachelor of Arts, hoping to go on to take a MSc and finally get qualified as a computer systems analyst.
Right, gentlemen, lot 1. 3 Transarc AC450 welding sets, a vice and a welding pot. Who'll start me off on this? 25 quid a piece for them would make it 75 to 50 to start me for the 3 welders. Who'll start me off? 50 I've got, 75, 100, 25, 50, 75, 200, 25, 50, 75, 3, 25, 50, 75, 4. That's 375 in the middle. But 4 there, 4 a quarter, 4 half, 4 3/4, 500, 25.
Promises were made, some fairly wild promises, at the time of the shipyard closures. It was very important for the government to make those promises and to talk about an alternative future for Sunderland. Let me make the point that the deindustrialisation, it seems to me, that they seem committed to and that they are performing, is not just a removal of shipbuilding, it's a removal of any other heavy industry. So I think it's been pretty gloomy, with a bunch of basically unelected, self-appointed people going around pretending that actually it's all quite wonderful.
There are ambitious plans for Sunderland. At Pan's Bank, close to the city centre, there will be a mixed development including a riverside village costing £6 million. There are plans for a business and innovation park, retailing and a hotel at Hilton Riverside, once the famous colliery.
The Development Corporation, it's a body that's set up with a single purpose of trying to deal with dereliction. And what we have to try and do, not just ourselves, DWO, the local authority and other agencies, we have to combine together to try and bring new kinds of jobs to Sunderland. Hopefully jobs for ex-shipyard workers, but equally jobs for young people coming on the job market and married women coming back to work, whoever. What's essential that the corporation must do is make factory space available. Wherever we go marketing, we find there's lots of interest, and our job on this site is to get factories. So it's a golden opportunity. We can bring jobs to the area, we can bring businesses to the area, and this is the site in which we're trying to do it.
You mean those piles of soil? The redevelopment. Apparently there's 3,500 jobs going to be over the road. Well, that's as much as we know, apart from what's said in the Echo and anything. You probably know more than I do about it.
What do you know about it?
Not a lot. I don't read the Echo. No, I do know that there's going to be a lot of work there. I don't know when it's due for completion, 91, I would imagine the rate they're going. Hopefully by the time that all starts up, Amanda will have left school then and maybe she's in with a chance.
Well, I'd like to see myself with a nice job, nice clothes and everything, look nice and presentable. I'd like to have my own car, maybe even start up my own business and thing, and I'm going to try and aim for that. I don't want to be just anybody just sitting there and doing nothing all day with 5 kids around the feet and everything. Here in England there's only my nana and my mum and me. But my mum and dad's divorced, so my dad's in Germany living with his girlfriend. I go over quite often and my nana only lives around the corner. Come here all the time. I come for my dinner and my tea from Monday to Friday. Sometimes I call around on a Saturday and just sit and talk and watch the television, and my tea's ready on the chair and everything if you want to come in.
Now let's rotate both shoulders by bringing your arms forward, up, back and down with a circular swing.
Yeah, well, I mean, Amanda's brought up by my mother as much as I've brought her up. You know, like, I've always had to go to work, and being a one-parent family, if it wasn't for my mother, I wouldn't have been able to work, and we wouldn't have anything. We'd be living in with my mother, if we were with her. What do you think?
I just think the same way, but I don't think we're like mum and daughter, to be honest.
Oh, no.
Just when I get money off you.
She's like husband?
No.
She is. If I mean, I had more of a life with my husband than I've got with Amanda. She nags me all the time.
Well?
Waits up for me coming in from the pub.
So?
She's worse than a husband.
I'm not worse than a husband.
Yeah.
I'm not.
But you can't divorce the kids, unfortunately.